Now to the story of a strong leopard in Bengaluru that was shot down in the city's Kudli Gate suburbs last evening. For the last few days, the leopard had spread fear in several residential colonies and IT campuses in the city, was even caught on CCTV cameras. Finally, a 15-hour operation to trap the wildcat ended in it being shot with a double-barrel gun. The killing has left conservationists angry, and there are strong questions over why it wasn't trapped alive. Pratibha Raman has the details.
Rage, mourning and arguments. Bengaluru activists and animal lovers are in shock, debating on better ways of handling the leopard that became a living nightmare for the citizens of the Kudlu Gate area. Shots were fired from a double-barrel gun as a spotted cat leapt outside the net that was in place to capture it. Could it have been captured alive?
Could have been saved, because after all that effort, unnecessarily that guy saw the leopard, although it was trapped, he shot it. Prayag was there, he could have allowed Mr. Prayag to dart it. But before Prayag could come into the picture, this guy had already shot it. And he is also shaking hands with his colleague to say the job is done. So that was very bad reflection of what was the mindset of things.
747 leopard deaths have been reported in India between 2014 to 2019. 17 people have been killed by leopards in 2013, followed by 14 in 2011, 2015 and 2017. In the 19th century, a leopard in Rudraprayag killed more than 125 people. Leopards can tolerate human proximity, can boldly explore cities. The Leopard Task Force in Karnataka has attended over 500 calls to capture and rescue wild leopards from February 1st. 46 leopards have been rescued since its formation during the previous regime in Mysuru and Mandya, 15 of which were cubs. While the activists have written to the Karnataka Forest Minister demanding a detailed inquiry, the forest officials in Bengaluru maintained that tranquilizing it wasn't an option as finding a close range of 20 to 30 feet within enclosed spaces was difficult.
When we were clearing the vegetation, it avoided our net and pounced on one of our staff, and meanwhile we had to open fire and it died in the process. As I was in the post-mortem and I saw the physical, the condition of the leopard, two of its canines were gone and the lower jaw was completely gone. And it was looking for the soft targets only. Actually, had it been crossed that line and went into the human habitation nearby, it would have been even much bigger problem.
The male cat was already old and was handled by 70 forest officials for 3 full days before the animal was shot and captured.
Well, several questions raised, several of them on social media as well. Joining me now is Sanjay Gubbi, well-known conservationist, one of nationally well-known one, and he had also been once attacked by a wildcat and yet helps and saves them. Sanjay, thank you so much for joining us, sir. My first question to you, could it have been saved and trapped alive, A? And if yes, should it have been trapped alive instead of being shot down?
I agree, it could have been captured alive. Veeraraghavan, the issue is, this is not a standalone issue in this country. Several such leopards have been killed. People are getting injured. People are dying. So we need a serious attention towards this issue of human-leopard conflict across the country. Even models where people are showing, like for example, from Maharashtra, they are saying Sanjay Gandhi National Park and Junnar district that there is coexistence. Last year, Junnar district alone had 29 victims. So that's not true coexistence. Leopards are also getting caught, captured, translocated. People are also dying. So I think it's a serious issue now. It's a time when we, as a nation, have to sit down and think how we are handling these situations, especially with the leopards. So leopards are very important carnivores in the ecosystem. We need to give a lot of priority in handling such emergency situations. On the top priority is preparedness in managing emergency situations. I totally agree that we need better ways of dealing with this.
Sir, as you're speaking, we are playing out pictures of that operation that went on. What, according to you, you must have seen those pictures, what, according to you, possibly went wrong? And was it a panic reaction to shoot it down?
Yes, I think that was a panic reaction as soon as they came. That's why preparedness and capacity building should get top priority. I sort of sometimes feel pity with these kind of field staff because they are not trained. Just because they are part of the forest department doesn't mean they have handled these kinds of situations. Even if you have handled one or two situations, it's not enough. You need a lot more field exposure. You need a lot more mock drills happening, which is absent in this country completely. You look at the number of people around this leopard after it has been tranquilized or shot, whatever. So we need a lot of mock drill, like police does mock drill. We also need very regular mock drills. First, you need to train them, but also carry on with mock drills very regularly. Perhaps all field staff have to go through certain mandatory capacity building programs every 6 months or every year, especially in areas where there is a lot of conflict. Karnataka, certain parts of Karnataka has high conflict. Uttarakhand has conflict. Maharashtra has conflict. All these areas we have to take things seriously and say, okay, now we have to really focus on capacity building and regular mock drills of handling these kind of situations. Otherwise, in the days to come, we'll lose more leopards. We'll also have severe retaliation from people due to injuries and loss of human life.
Sir, as you point that out, just want to tell our viewers that you were once attacked by a leopard and yet, you continue to protect them, right? So the question, and not for personal glory, but as a larger message, we see this entire thing turning into a spectacle there. You saw thousands of people around waiting with that net that's down there. What's the first lesson that we need to learn? When you say sensitize, one is the forest department and one is the forest officials. But as people, what is the first lesson we need to learn?
Yes, it's the general public and awareness and sensitization is not just during this emergency conflict situation. It is a year-round activity which needs to be designed and carried out by expert. That's very important because you know how people react and you also know how animals react in these kind of situations. Like you asked me about this question of my personal experience way back in 2016. I was grievously injured, but we still managed to capture the leopard alive because one thing we were very clear that day, including the veterinarians and forest officials, was that we need to ensure the safety of people, but at the same time, we need to ensure that the leopard is captured without much problems to the animal and also to people. So even at the risk of our lives, we managed to capture the leopard. That kind of push is very required with in a lot of situations. But unfortunately, these are grievous situations. Sometimes things go wrong on the side of the humans. Sometimes it goes wrong on the side of the leopards. But we feel really very bad when things go wrong like this because it is not its mistake. If we put one leopard in the middle of thousands of people, it's similar to like putting me in the middle of 1,000 leopards. Imagine how stressed I would be. I'm sure the leopard was more stressed than that. So that's why it's very important. We need to start thinking from the angle of the leopard.
Right. Thank you so much, Sanjay Gubbi, for sharing those thoughts. Remember, the leopard is more scared when it's surrounded by 1,000 people than the 1,000 people who are looking at that leopard. And that creates a spectacle. Perhaps that's the lesson we need to learn. That's all we have time for on the Southern View this evening. Hopefully, lessons will be learned as far as man-animal conflict and politics. But that's all we have time for. The news continues here in NDTV.